YouTube, what's happening is Monday, May 5th, and we're going to talk about baseball first today. We have, was it 10 or 11 games on the slate? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 games that we're going to break down. It's Monday. It's a travel day. We know this. So we're going to look at the stats. We're going to look at the props to see if we can find some value out there. But first, we got to do a little recap of yesterday because, hey, every day ain't a good day. Last week was an amazing week. Sunday wasn't. So, hey, we got KC plus 1.5 right. We got San Fran team total right. That Colorado pitcher is just not good. We're going to fade him all year long. It's going to be beautiful. And then we got Detroit money on because Detroit is nasty. They're a great team. So, everything else, though, the Dodgers couldn't get it done. Espinal had one HR, not two. Cubs didn't even show up, it looked like. Seattle got their ass kicked. Point blank. Can't, yeah. And Tampa, New York looked like it was going to be under, and all of a sudden, boom, over. Hey, what can you do? So, either way, those are, you have days like that. It's going to happen. So, we can't win every single day. I wish we could, but either way, if you want the plays typed out for every sport, or if you want access to the spreadsheet so you can do your own research, go check out the HQ. Simple as that. So, enough of that. We have 10 games. Let's stop wasting time and jump to that first game right now. All right, and before we jump into it, we got to do the weather again because the last couple days have been just so focused on just garbage weather that it impacted some of the games, you could tell. So now let's look at today's weather. Miami's in a dome, no worries there. Washington, 88% chance of rain, wind going left. Ugh, there might be delay here. We really don't want to be taking starting pitcher props in this one. Especially this one either. San Diego at New York, wind blowing in at 11, 97%. There's zero chance this game's getting played, right? There's no way, right? Those of you that live in New York, do you think this game's getting played? Because with this type of forecast, no shot. Braves, Reds, beautiful day. Wind blowing out at 8, nice stuff. Giants at Cubs in at 8 in Wrigley. You can see no rain there. Royals in, nothing. Brewers is a dome. Cardinals 3 miles an hour with a little bit of nothing. Arizona's a dome. A's in at 13, not good for overs. So yeah, mainly we have your two games here. Washington's questionable. New York, I mean, come on, let's be honest, that game ain't happening. So. Ain't no shot. I'll still show you this stuff just in case it does. I'm passing that game 100%. So let's go ahead and jump to the first one, which is going to be. Actually, let's just go ahead and just do that game first. Let's do. Normally we do Miami, but we're going to go right over to New York because we're already talking about it. That game is disgusting. So let's just do that. Where's the line? Currently, it's Yankees 140 with a 7.5, but no. What are they going to? No, they don't play in the rain. They don't do that. But you can see how they've been doing here recently. 6-4, 5-game winning streak for San Diego. Pretty awesome stuff. Yankees lost 2. You can see the numbers. Let me see something else real quick. I want to open you up in a window and see. Yeah, you lost 3-2 and 7-5 to Tampa. Yeah, good job, Tampa. Good job. So you can see the numbers. Everything's leaning New York, though. Their bats are playing really well. San Diego's bats are not. Even though they're on a 5-game win streak, their pitching has been holding it down for them. So let's pop over to ye old props. We want baseball. We want to set it up for the freshest, crispiest lines. And here we go. Put it on the Yankee game. And we have Carlos Rodon versus Nick Pivetta. All we have are strikeouts for both pitchers. Both of them do really good on strikeouts, too. Strikeout-wise, San Diego's 15th, New York is 20th, so potentially we could do this. I'll show you both of them. Don't worry. I got you out here. Let's see. Strikeouts. Yeah, he's been doing really damn good. Head-to-head against San Diego? Not so much. Let's look at the matchups just in case you care about this. Here is Rodon versus San Diego, historically, entire history for him. And here's San Diego versus lefties this season. There's the numbers. Have fun with that. New York versus righties. There's your numbers. And then Pivetta versus New York history. And we see a couple home runs, 364. Cool. There's Pivetta strikeouts. Never faced the Yankees. And yeah, and that's hockey. Go away. Come down here. So you see all that. You can play all that if you want to. But personally, like I said, I'd be shocked if this game plays with that type of forecast. So I'm going to pass on this and move on to the next one. All right, moving on. We're going back to the top of the list, which is going to be Dodgers and Miami. Currently, we know Dodgers played last night in Atlanta. Now they had to hop on a plane, and now they're down here in Miami. So you can see Dodgers are a favorite, 190, 9.5 is our total. Let's look at the sheet, see how they're doing. Number one in a lot of categories. Even after last night, the loss, they still number one because the bats, they did decent enough. So they're batting 312 as a team in the last 10. That's impressive. 11.2 hits per game, impressive. So yeah, and Miami is not that great. So clearly for Detroit. Clearly for the Dodgers on the bats here. So let's pop over to the prop, who's pitching. So we go to the next game, which is Miami, and we see it's, oh God, Sandy. Oh, Sandy. We need to have a conversation about Sandy. Like, dude has been, look at this, over 2.5 earned runs, 80%. Who the hell's pitching who's pitching for LA? Ben Casparius. Who? Who the hell is this? Who is you? I need some stats on you, my guy. Load up the stats. Who is you? Okay, you were on the team last year, so you're still there. You only played in 3 games last season. You've been in 11 games this year. Ah, it's a bullpen day. I see what they're doing. 291, only 21 innings, 11. Yeah, so LA is going straight up bullpen route. Hell, is their bullpen still better than Sandy? It might be. It just might be. I'm telling you, it might be. So we're gonna have no stats. Okay. Sandy's last 4. This is a Sandy season so far. 2025 season. 2-2, 4-6, 3-8 or 7. Ooh. And look, his last game out, he faced the Dodgers. And look what he did. He gave 7 to the Dodgers, who he is facing today. Now, this game wasn't LA. Now it's in Miami. But I don't think that matters because once they whoop your ass once, if they're going to whoop your ass again, it's literally been 5 days since they've seen them. So, let's look at that history. 667, 429, 438 with 2 home runs with Mookie, 310, 250, 333, 267, 33, 500. Only Otani's doing bad. 1 for 5. LA's 190. That's it. That feels low. I feel like this is like, I got to take this. This has got to be the play to take. Sandy over 2.5 earned runs. It's got to be. Why else would I take anything else? Yeah, because I don't want to have to trust the bullpen for LA when I can just trust Sandy to give up in 5 innings to give up at least 3, 4, 5, 6 runs. So that's what I'm going to go with. We're going to go, I'm just going to call him Sandy. Sandy over 2.5 earned runs. Sorry. I mean, Sandy was one of my favorite pitchers until he just got hurt. And then he has not been the same since at all. So poor Sandy. So, yep. I mean, obviously, I'll take LA money line too, but I think their power is going to overtake their power to the point where it doesn't matter who's pitching for LA, they're going to be fine. So, yeah, but I'll take Sandy over 2.5 earned runs next. All right, another game that I didn't know was going to happen because remember, let's look at the weather real quick again. Show it up. We got Cleveland, Washington. I don't know. So we'll see. Let's look at the spreadsheet. Actually, no, let's look at the odds. Currently it is I pick them maybe slightly to Cleveland with a 9 total. Let's look over that spreadsheet, take a look at the numbers. Cleveland bats are not hot right now. They're below average. Washington's just hanging out in the mid-range, just middle. Nerfy potential? Maybe. We got some stud pitchers. We could have a Nerfy here if we do this. I'm leaning no because I don't like weather games. Anytime you bring weather in, example, 2 days ago, KC Baltimore literally they played 1 inning, took an hour break. I took Bubic over 4.5 strikeouts. He wasn't the same when he came back in. You're just not. You pitch for 1 inning, you sit down for an hour and go back in. No. Athletes are creatures of habits. You mess with their habits, especially baseball players. They're even the worst. They're worse than everybody. So they got to have their certain, yeah, you mess with things up, it just doesn't work. So, all right, let's go over to the props and looking how we got. What Nationals? LL Cool J Ortiz is going up against Jake Irvin. Let's see. I keep forgetting LL is no longer on Pittsburgh and he's on Cleveland. I keep forgetting it. Every time I see it, it's like Pittsburgh. Nope. Strikeouts, though. Dude's been doing good. All right. So, Washington, how you doing on strikeouts? Really? Really? Remember when Washington was number 1 like 3 weeks ago when they were number 1 at this? Yeah, no longer. They are swinging at everything now. They are. Ooh. That is a lot. Number 1 is that tells me Colorado is below 10 strikeouts a game. The first thing I thought of. Like, whoa, good job. Wow. All right. Well, guess what we're taking? I just said I shouldn't take this, but damn, you have to bet you're striking dudes out like crazy this year. And on top of it, you have literally the best possible strikeout matchup you would want all season. Based on the last 10 games, which is Washington at 9.9 strikeouts per game in the last 10. Yeah, we got to take this. We'll look at the history and everything too. We'll show Jake first. There's Jake Irvin versus Cleveland. Don't care. Sorry, Jake. Don't care. There is Cleveland versus the righties. Don't care. Washington versus righties. We'll see how they're doing. We got some 2s and 1-3. Call his 3s. That's it. Ooh, they ain't that good. And then history. A lot of at bats, but not much success. 1 home run and 3 at bats. I don't care about that. So, yeah, we're going to take Ortiz. LL Ortiz. over 4.5 Ks? Absolutely. I will absolutely take that. Now, I'm risking it, and the weather gets in the way, whatever. But I got it. This dude has literally this season been cooking on strikeouts. 10 against KC, 8 against Pitt, 8 against Yankees, and 5. Yeah, if he can do that, he can strike out the 30th ranked team in strikeouts currently in the league. Oops, broke the sheet. Literally right there. Like, come on. I got to take that. So we'll take that. LL Cool J on his strikeouts next. And Atlanta. And yes, I finally spelled Cincinnati right. Put it in the video yesterday. Like, I spelled it right. I'm like, no. I added the N, but I left the extra T. Like, oops, my bad. So, Google Sheet doesn't have spell check. It just doesn't. You have to look at it. But is that right? I don't know. It's one of them cities that always mess with me a little bit. So currently we have Cincinnati, Atlanta, and it looks like we got Atlanta 142 over 8.5. Sheet C 1T2. I got it. Yeah, that's right. I deserve my props. Thank you. Oh man, this is mid. Everything's kind of lined up tonight. There's nothing standing out in this one. There's no strikeouts. There's nothing here. There's no nerfy potential. There's nothing in this one. Props. Anything over here in the props. Or pitchers. Brady Singer's going out there versus AJ Smith-Shawver. Let's see. Singer strikeouts, maybe. Singer walks, maybe. We have both of those. Atlanta's 4th in strikeouts and 12th in walks. So that's going to be a no for both of those, dog. So let's look. Matchup. Shawver, history, Cincy. There's your numbers. Not much there against righties. We can see how they've done all season. 352 for Lux. Look at Gavin doing good. Good job, Gavin. 478 for wins. I didn't even see that one. Damn. 345. Another 3. Okay, so you got 4 dudes over 300 against righties. Atlanta, how you doing against righties? You have nobody. Well, nope, I lied. White is over 300. Against Singer history, whoa, Murphy, 8 at-bats, 625 with 2 home runs and a 2.2 OPS. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. If you want to take just a straight-up bat prop, that might be somebody to take. We might look at his. 286 for Olson, 357 for Rosario with a home run at a 1.0. That's not bad either. Verdugo, 310 at bats. Not bad. I think this is literally 5. What is that? 5 for 8? Yeah, it's 5 for 8 with 2 home runs. And then his outs. He's struck. Okay. I see it now. I see it. So let's go look at Murphy and also Rosario. Let's go to the bats. Straight up to the bats. Ooh, that is yesterday's numbers. Let's refresh that bad boy. Go down to Atlanta Braves. And then we want to look for where'd he go? Where'd he go? Who's hiding Rosario? Make sure I got the names right. It is, damn it. Bring it back up. Still trying to hunt here. Thank you. Murphy, that's his name. Damn it. Murphy. Just do it this way. Murphy. Sean. What's up, buddy? Sean Murphy, HRR. Ugh. Okay, maybe not. We'll still look at it. We'll still look. And then we want Rosario doesn't have any lines. So why are you showing up if you don't have any lines? That doesn't make sense. It means you're not playing. That doesn't tell me much. All right, so all we have here is Sean Murphy. And okay, so he's done pretty well outside of a couple games. So he's 60%. The ones he does, he pops off head to head. He's only 1 for 4 against them. He's averaging 2.1 on the season. Not bad. Not bad overall. I might take this anyways. I might do it. Might not. No. What's Singer doing strikeouts? Yeah, the only play I would even consider taking would be Murphy, and I don't know if I like this. It's 60%. He's this 0 for 0 last 2. That started a streak. I'm not liking that. So we're just going to pass on this one and move on to the next one. All right, next game we're heading over to is going to be San Fran and Chicago. We got San Fran right yesterday, Chicago wrong yesterday, so we'll see if we can do better. Chicago 148 with a 7.5. Let's look at the shoot, and we can see about a bunch of mid. That's all it is. San Fran 3-game winning streak. Nothing's truly standing out in this one. What's the weather like? It's blowing in from left center at 8 miles an hour, less than 10% chance of precipitation, so no real worries about that. We do need to look at the actual dudes that be throwing the ball at them. So let's go over here. It is Landon Roop versus Matthew Boyd. And Roop over 4.5 hits allowed paid last time. Guess what we're going? Cubs, how are you doing on hits, my guys? Boyd earned runs. My God. Okay, that's the good too. We'll look at you. And then we got Boyd hits allowed as well. I like that. That's what we got. Cool. Show me the money. So remember, they're yellow to green, or they're red to yellow. So Chicago's doing slightly better in the bats, but let's look at this overall. First off, we have Landon Roop is doing quite well. 2025, he has given up an average of 5.83 hits this season in his 6 games he's played. Any of those games versus Cubs? No. Okay, cool. So let's look at all the matchup stuff first. Boyd versus them, 1 for 9, 0 for 6. Okay, those two dudes don't do well, so that's cool. Against lefties, how did the Giants do? The Giants should love lefties. If it was last season, they do. 1, 2, 3, garbage. Oh, okay. Cubs versus righties. How we doing? Yeah. A couple 300s, bunch of high 2s against Loop. Nope. Data. Okay. So we could say Landon here over 4.5 hits because he's probably going to do that. Cubs bats are above average. They're 14th in hits and 14th in batting average, 7th in runs, 9th in OBP. Yeah, we could take this. Let's see what else we got. Matthew Boyd earned runs. Ooh, good sir. What have you been doing this year? You started off great. Nothing. And all of a sudden, Dodgers. I mean, 3-2 isn't bad. I'm fine with that. It's 1.5, though. How is San Fran scoring runs? 4.1 in the entire game. I'm not loving that. If they were more of like the green range, maybe like around 10th overall, a bunch of things, maybe, but no. Boyd hits allowed. Ooh, you were nasty, but all of a sudden you started getting lit up a little bit. Whoa. Who is this? You're averaging 5.8. That's close. This feels sweaty. This feels real sweaty. If anything, no, I got to go the other way. I got to go Roop to give it pits. That's what I'm going to take, right? I'm going to go ROUPP over 4.5 hits allowed. Got to go for that. Cubs Bastard is doing better overall. You can see they're just doing slightly better because I don't want to trust San Fran when their hits are red. Why? They're only 7.3 hits a game. No, their average is only 232 when Cubs are at 257. Yeah, I'll trust Cubs more. Take Roop to get the 5 hits next. All right, moving on to Kansas City and the White Sox. And we have it to KC 245 with an 8 total, bro. All right, let's look at the things. Look at the green. Look at the White Sox with a bunch of green. Whoa, I broke it. Whoa. That's impressive. That's cool to see. They're about the same. I see no advantage either way. That's good stuff. Let's see. What's the weather here? Just making sure. Let me check the weather real quick. Blowing in 5 and nothing to worry about. Good stuff. Let's look at the pitcher props. We have Cole Reagans going up against Shane Smith. All right. Reagans strikeouts over has been hit. Okay, he's been striking out like crazy, huh? White Sox are 17th in strikeouts at 8. KC is number 1 at 5.6. So just so you know, we're not going to be taking his strikeouts. And he couldn't even strike out Colorado dudes. Colorado is the worst strikeout team in the league. And you struck out 4, 10, 11, 12 against Milwaukee, Minnesota, Cleveland. You couldn't do more than 4. Get off my screen. For shame, good sir. For shame. Yeah, nope. Against lefties, you can see how Chicago's done this season. 353, he doesn't play. I guess no, he does play. Not that great. 500 for 14 at bats. You need to be playing every game. KC versus righties, you can see how they do. We don't have any 300s. Even Booby's only 293. Oh, I lied. Furman's 325. I missed it. Shane Smith history, none. So I see no advantage of the bats. Pitchers, I don't see no advantage, really. Let's look at the overall this hitting period for this game. Maybe there's something here we can take. Bring it up. Anything good? Yeah. A lot of dudes are doing decently, but no. I couldn't tell you who's going to win. If anything, I want to take Chicago plus 1.5 because it's so close. Because I just don't, yeah. Like, look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. I almost want to do this. It sounds sad, but man, 245 KC is kind of crazy with these numbers. They're better at scoring runs. They're better at OPS. They're better on base. They're better at doubles. They're better at RBIs. They're walks. They don't walk nothing. They don't get any walks. So they're getting dudes on base too, which matters. And they played Houston pretty well. They won 2 of the 3, I believe, or maybe or the 2 of the 4. So, man, White Sox plus 1. How wild! I almost want to do it, but I'm not going to. We're going to pass next. All right, we got Houston, Milwaukee now, and you'll see the Houston numbers in a second and be like, yeah, that's why I almost took Chicago because they played Houston this series. Let's see currently, where are we at? Milwaukee. Where's Milwaukee? How far there they are? They move up. It's basically a pick 'em with an 8 total. Nothing really changed there. You see Houston's been playing great. And that's how I was like, well, maybe I should take the White Sox. That's why I thought of it. Now Milwaukee's not playing great. Everything's a lot bottom 10. That's not where you want to be on things. That's why you're 4 and 6. Simple stuff. So let's go to the props and see who the pitchers are. Tobias Myers versus Blanco. Nothing here we want to take. There's no green, so we're not looking into any of these, but we will look at their histories like we always do. So Tobias history versus Houston. Nothing. 0 for 5, 0 for 4. Against righties, you can see how Houston's been this season. We see a bunch of 2s. We ain't 3s. Any 3s? Just 324 for Myers at the bottom. That's it. Milwaukee, any 300 righties? 1, 2, 3, almost 4. Not bad. Blanco, nothing. So nothing here. I would lean Houston. Houston has overall better stuff. Pitchers, I would still take probably. How are these two actually doing this season? Let's take a look at these two. Let's just zoom in a little bit. Earned run. I can't even look at Tobias Myers' earned runs. That is a shame. All right, so strikeouts tells me a lot. Blanco, how's your earned runs been going? 3-1, 3-2, 4-3. You're averaging 1.8. 25, you're averaging 2.67. That's questionable at best, but you're facing Milwaukee, so I'm not really concerned, but I would lean Houston, but I'm not feeling it, so we're not going to play it. There's nothing definitive that says, ooh, I like that. I'm not playing it. That's how we do it around here. So, yeah, I will lean Houston, though, but I'm not going to take it. Next. All right, Pittsburgh, St. Louis is next. What do we got up here? There we go. 140 St. Louis with an 8.5 total. Look over at the sheet, and we can see, all right, Pittsburgh is struggling on things. They can't score runs. They can't do nothing. That's why they're 2-8 with a 4-game losing streak. St. Louis, average, but they're 6-4 because their pitching is holding them in there. That's the best way to put it. So, all right, and they're at home. St. Louis is at home, and it's 140. I'm already leaning St. Louis. If we have decent pitching, we're going St. Louis money line. Mikolas is going up against Carmen Molzinski. Can never say his man's name. Carmen at 80% strikeouts over 3.5 going against St. Louis, who is number 2 in strikeouts. So we're not taking that. Not a chance in hell. So, but we'll take a look at how these two pitchers are doing, because since I'm considering a money line, I want to see Mikolas. How's your earned runs doing? Oh yeah, beautiful. You've been shutting them down recently. That's good stuff. Boston got you. That's fine. I mean, Boston whooped everybody's ass that day. But you shut down Cincy. You shut down Atlanta. You shut down. Well, I say hell 2. You shut them down basically. 3 on Philly. Not bad. Not bad at all. I'm liking that. What about you? Have done what? Ooh, yeah, we're liking St. Louis. Let's look at these histories first, but we're taking St. Louis. Mikolas versus these dudes, 382, 381, 359. Okay, 3 dudes have done well. You have 359, but you only have 4 RBIs and no home runs. You singles merchant, you 885, weak. 381 and 21 at bats, no home runs. 382 and 34, no home runs. Hey, you ain't giving them no home runs. It doesn't matter, right? You can get singles all day. Bloop them all day, baby. As long as you ain't putting them across the plate, who cares? Exactly. So, yeah, we're going St. Louis money line on this one. Next. All right, next up, Mets Diamondbacks. We have basically I pick them slightly into Arizona with a 9.5 total. Head over here to the sheet, and we can see, ooh, that's a lot of green. The Mets are doing well. The bats pitching has let them down. Clearly, if you can see this, you can see that lost 2 in a row. 4 and 6 for Arizona. Same situation. The bats are doing okay, kinda. They're good at some things and average at others. They're striking out a bunch. That's kind of a concern too, but hey, whatever. Props. Who's throwing the ball today? Ryan Nelson versus Griffin Canning. Okay. Griffin Canning strikeouts was 4 out of 5. Nice. We can see that. Let's see. How is Arizona doing? That's right. They're 25th in strikeouts. Hello, play. You're the one we're taking, probably. 4.5 plus 136. So that means I can outline that bad boy down to 3.5, can I? Yeah, easily. I'll take minus 172. Sure. Hell, I might just leave it at 4.5. I could just do a bet just on one of the DFS sites and just take 4. That's a nice even number. How about that? There's options. There's always options to do it. 4.5, huh? 855. St. Louis 8. We just saw St. Louis. Philly and Washington. I'm intrigued. Was that a 19-5 win? That was. Damn. All right, let's look at the history. Ryan Nelson versus Mets history. Bunch of 2s. 429, 444. Okay, Pete Alonso is 444 with 9 at bats with 3 home runs. So every third at bats a home run on average. Soto has 2 home runs and 12 at bats. Wheeler has 2 home runs and 8 at bats. They like facing this dude. All right, Nelson. So not only do we have the pitcher has an advantage against Arizona with the strikeouts because Arizona's striking out a bunch, we also have the New York bats who have love facing the Arizona pitchers. So why don't we just take the Mets plus 100 money line? That seems to be the way to go. Swap it over. Arizona versus righties. We got a couple threes on here, not too many. Against Griffin Canning, bunch of red, whole bunch of red. Not what you want to see if you're an Arizona fan. Sorry. So yeah, you could take Griffin Canning strikeouts. I'm not doing that. Not a chance. We're going straight back to the game lines. Let me see. We're just going to take the Mets plus 100. Thanks. Next. All right, time for some Monday night baseball. I mean, every game's at night today, but whatever. Seattle in the A's, last game of the slate. You can't even see it. Let me open it for you. They could at least put the A's logo on here. I mean, come on now. Come on. Don't disrespect them like that. They are 3 games over 500. It is a pick 'em with a 9 total. Let's go over to the sheet, look at the numbers. And Seattle got their ass whooped yesterday, but hey, they're 8-2 last 10. They are still, their offense is great. Their pitching gave up 8 runs, and they only got 1 run themselves. So, yeah. So, but they did win the other games in the series. So now they're facing the divisional rivals. So you can see their numbers pretty average. Hey, as long as the A's stay average, they're going to have a good season. So let's look over at the props. Who's pitching? Severino versus Bryce Miller. Bryce Miller walks. He's allowed at least 3 walks in 4 out of the last 5. That ain't good. That ain't good at all. The A's are 15th in walks at 3.1 the last 10. Severino outs 70%. We can look at how many outs he's actually getting, but let's look at the histories and see what these two teams have been up to with these pitchers. Severino versus Seattle history, get on screen for you. Polanco's 429, only 7 at bats though, and everything else is kind of Tellez under. What you could do is one hit's been a home run. Everything else has been garbage. That's funny. Against righties, you see how St. Louis, Seattle has been doing. You see all that. Swap to the A's. You can see their numbers versus righties. And then Bryce Miller versus the A's history. 273. Anything stand out? Not a zeros. Okay. I lean Seattle a little bit. His outs are, man, he fell off right here. So we can't take his outs. How are your earned runs been doing? You've been doing pretty good. But I can't take the A's when Seattle's offense is looking like this. And I don't want to take Seattle when, this is too close for me, really. So I'm not going to play this one. We're going to end it right there. It's a short card. It's Monday. There's only 10 games. I have 5 plays. I mean, come on. How many plays you want from me? I mean, come on, right? So let's just delete that row. Yeah, 5 plays on the day. I'm okay with that. So could be worse. Trust me. It could absolutely be worse. But hey, we found 5 plays. We're going to take those 5 plays. Tomorrow is Tuesday. Go check out the HQ if you want the plays typed out in a nice list so you can see everything I picked. Or if you want access to the spreadsheet so you can do your own research. Easy. For all sports. Basketball, hockey, soccer now. Soccer was amazing the first time we did it. Soon tennis, soon UFC. They're all going to be here soon. So other than that, we have a bunch of games tomorrow. That looks like a 15-game slate. Hell, that might be more than 15. Not 15. We're going to go over these games tomorrow. Let me know what you're taking in the comments. Drop a like, subscribe if you haven't. We're trying to grow to 20K. We're almost there. Crazy time. Other than that, I appreciate being here, and I'll see you tomorrow on Tuesday for some more MLB. Peace.